Welcome back to A Family Guide to Joy in All Circumstances. We're in chapter 4, week 3. This is the video for week 3. I'm Pastor Travis from A Faithful Dad, where we encourage dads and families. Again, going through our guide, A Family Guide to Joy, each month a new chapter and each week a new video. And so glad to have you back. We are talking specifically this month about Jesus knew joy because he prayed in transitions. So joy in transitions. We talked variously about just how transitions galore. There's transitions in so much of life. You know, we could argue that we're probably in one right now, a transition, and we don't even know it. And we talked about last week about how Jesus boldly and with strong leadership approached the cross because his best work lay ahead of him on the cross. And my encouragement last week was that your best work may lay ahead of you through that transition that God's bringing you through. This week it gets personal. And I share a very embarrassing story, as I mentioned in the guide. In a 6-year period, I was unemployed 3, almost 5 times. And no, it does not get easier as you think, oh, now that I'm unemployed the 3rd time, I'm used to it. If anything, for me, at least in my experience, it became even more difficult. So the abbreviated story I'll share here, and in the entirety I shared in the guide, is grocery store show-off. And one of the things, when you become unemployed, one of the maxims is that you're to look for a job as many hours as when you were working. So if you work 40 hours, spend 40 hours looking for a job, 50, etc. And you can do that, but there's only so much you can do. So I had some time on my hands, and one of the things that I could help my bride out with was going grocery shopping. And one time I went, I just picked a time, there was all kinds of people everywhere, like people that I knew. And the number one question that a man asks another man is, can you guess? Hey, buddy, where are you working at these days? It's the number one question I did not want to get asked. Don't ask me that question, because then I'm going to have to tell you that I'm not working anywhere. And then the questions will arise about, well, wow, why aren't you working? Or this finally confirms that this Travis, he's a loser. I told you, and this is just proof of it. So I started analyzing the patterns of my local grocery store and finding out when the best time was to go, because I didn't want to get that question. Call it pride, call it silliness, but you just feel so vulnerable in those transitions. And I share a very embarrassing story about an encounter I had at the grocery store. And then as I was checking out, and I'm going to say that for the guide, but you're not going to want to miss it at my expense, certainly. But the lesson is the same, and it's lesson number 39, and it's this. In unemployment, God helped me better understand that the secret of being content in any situation is to totally rely on him. When things are going great, when we're employed, we're healthy, all of our family's doing well, the boss is treating us great, we have money coming in, things, wow. But it's in those transitions, right? God isn't any less God when things are going well our way. God is always God. He will always be God. And he is there. And his love for us, his mercy, his compassion for us overflows. And quite frankly, we see that most when we're in transitions, such as unemployment. And praying through those transitions and letting God work through us. Again, that helped me better understand lesson 39, which I'm sharing with you, is just knowing that I can rely on him fully, even in the deepest and darkest transitions. In his name, amen.